Okay, we're back. Okay, I'm gonna do to sum again. This time I'm gonna see if I could do it in a more efficient way than I did the first time. First time I just did a double for loop. So this time, wait, why did I open VS Code? Okay, so this time I'm gonna do this. So now I'm gonna go here. Oh wait, what the hell? Just delete this whole comment section. So for to sum, if you go back to the instructions, the description, it says indices of the two numbers such that they add up to target. So this is target. This is the nums array that they have of random numbers. And there's exactly one solution. So we don't need to worry about if we traverse and we'll find multiple combinations, because there's not going to be one. This is my fried salmon that I just made, by the way. Turned out okay. I don't over fry this shit because if I want to eat it with rice, I like it a little bit not hardened, you know. That way it goes better with the rice. Anyways, back to this. So if I know that there's only going to be one combination in its array, like before how I used two nested for loops, in this case I'm going to try and use one loop. That's probably the most efficient way. Is there a way to use one loop to do the problem? And if we don't know the size of a loop, so for example, it says given an array of integers and things. So it doesn't actually specify size. So when something doesn't specify a size, I'm thinking I could use a while loop here, because it could go indefinitely until it hits that combo, which is what I'm trying to get. So instead of doing the nested for loop where I just go 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, and now hit 0, 5. Now it's 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5. Now it's 2, 2, 0, 2. Like that would take forever, right? So the way I'm looking at it now is, okay, maybe if I have one array like this, start somewhere here, and I can start somewhere here, and I can move towards the middle. And that way I could just do one pass of the array and save myself the time of all these iterations of all the way up to the end of n squared, right? So this would give me an O of n time or O n log n, depending on how I want to do this. If I use the sort function, that would probably make things faster in terms of coding it, in terms of just how it would be done. Yeah, it would add that n log n time, because this if I could use array.sort, so nums.sort would be n log n. So hey, why don't I do this right now? Let's give it a shot. So let's go nums sort. So that should sort the array, and then I want to create something on the left side and the right side to mark where I'm going to be in the array. So let's call it L. That stands for left, and that's going to be 0. So what I'm doing now is creating basically pointers to the index. This is the index on the very left. The 0 index is L for left side, and right will be len nums. Len nums, and it's going to be -1. So back in when we did the when we used the method that used the embedded for loop, because you have range from 0 to len whatever it is, the nature of that loop will take away 1 because it's not inclusive. But in this case, since we're actually naming the pointer, we have to go length -1 in order to get the far right element. So we got left, which is 0, to length -1, which is the far right. My hands are flipped from this camera, but this is the right, this is my right, this is my left. So I want to move this way, and the right one moves this way until they hit a midpoint. where the loop ends indefinitely. We know there's going to be exactly one solution, so I'm not really worried. But in this case, if they didn't tell you any extra information, like if they didn't tell you there was going to be an extra solution or there could be no solution, your while loop will still break out and you can return like a -1 or something if you didn't have the option to. So that's why I'm kind of explaining it the way I am. So that way if you come back and it's like, all right, the instruction doesn't say there's going to be a solution. Well, if you've structured the logic properly, you will still be able to get information out of there and say, okay, I passed through the whole array, I didn't get anything, right? So let's go back to the code again. So let's create a while loop. While L is less than R. So I don't want to put equals to R, so less than or equals to R, because you can't have the same indices as an answer. They have to be distinct for the answer, so it's got to be WL minus R. Then I want to create a scenario where if it works out, we pass. If it doesn't work out, it fails. So if nums L plus nums R. So if numbers left plus numbers right, so if two numbers equal the target, I want to return the two indexes, so it's going to be L, R. It doesn't matter what order. So see how I took L and R? L is the index of the numbers array. R is the index of the numbers array. And these two indexes in the numbers array are two distinct numbers that reach the target. They could be the same value, but as long as the indexes are different, or indices are different, you're okay. So now we go if elif. So if the number is greater so if L is greater, or if nums L, okay. If nums L plus R, we just take the same thing. If it's less than the target, because we sorted it now. Because we sorted it, we have a criteria to say, okay, I can't go any less than this. The lowest numbers on the left, the highest numbers on the right, because we sorted it here, right? So if numbers L plus numbers R is less than the target, I want to go L plus equals 1. L plus equals 1, and then continue. Right, so if I go L plus equals 1, I'm saying because it's smaller than the target, so this is my target value. I'm smaller than the target. The only way to raise this, because this is the highest number, is to increase the lowest number on the left side. So now I'm getting closer to the target. So if I get closer to the target, I have to raise L plus 1, right? And then I can put L if, or I could put else, and it would be R plus 1. R minus 1, I mean. Because you can't go plus 1, you can't go past the array, so you have to go lower. So technically, if we want to go into the details of it, I'll just show you guys. It would be nums L plus R, and that would be greater than the target. This is what I'm just substituting with else. So this is technically what your else statement should have. Okay, cool. So if you look at this here, you know, we talked about if it's too small, I can't This is already the highest number, so I have to raise to meet the target because it's less. The sum is less than the target, so I have to raise it. In this case, the sum is greater than the target, so I have to decrease it. This is already the lowest number, so I have to go 1 to the left from the highest number to bring it down. We know for sure there's going to be one solution, so this is probably the best way to go. So I'm going to eliminate all this just to make my code a little bit cleaner. But else. But now you guys kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to go for. I'm trying to say if the sum of the two numbers of these two indexes equal the target, done. We return the indexes and we're out of here. If it's less than, then we got to increment the left side. If it's greater than, then we got to decrement the right side. So let us run this now. Case 2, wrong answer. Okay. Sometimes it depends on how you set up this while loop here. And so let me take a piece of my salmon. Let's try one more time. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is this. And then I'm going to flip it. If it's greater than the target, then I'm going to make this my else. Turn this into if. Usually that would end up working. It depends, sometimes like it'll throw an error. Else. Now let's run it. Case 2, why is it not working on case 2? 0, it's supposed to be 1. What if I go that? Len nums 1, less than or equal to the target. Is less than the target, L plus 1. It's greater than the target, R minus 1. Once L is less than or equal to R, let's try that. I'm just curious. Okay, so it's not that, obviously. There has to be one working answer. Let's type in sort. Sort and array. Python. Okay, you just use sort. Let's try it without the sort. I'm just curious to see if it works. You can return the answer in any order. Must be one solution. You can't use the same element twice. Indices of the two numbers such that they add up to the target. Sort and array in Python. Prime numbers dot sort. Yeah, so this pretty much gives you a sorted array. Okay. Why don't I already sum them? So if I go sum equals nums L plus nums R, and then if I go sum equals target, return nums L, nums R, while L is less than R. It keeps throwing an error, I'm not sure why. 026, target sum 02, 02, and it should be 12. I think it's because you're not supposed to sort it, maybe? If I get rid of that, let's try that now. R minus equals 1, it goes down. L plus equals 1 goes up. You want the array to be stationary. I'm thinking the other way you could do this is if you could create a dictionary, run through all the elements, and then as you go you just so it looks like you have to have the exact order of the original array. So another way to do this would be you see, because when you have to sort it, it already works. And if you look at the test case here, if you have to go 3 and 3, 0 and 1, it's already sorted, so you don't have to do anything. In this case, it is jumbled up, 3, 2, 4. So you have a greater number and then you're resorting it. So your output Three plus 4 is 7. It'd be 1, 2. I'm gonna try this. Store. I'm creating a array. And I can go for loop for x in range 0 to len nums minus, no, I don't have to do -1 len nums. It's inclusive. So I'm going to say x, so self, so nums, x in range. So now I'm at the index. So if yeah, so I'm going to say if target or val equals target minus nums x. And then so value equals target minus nums x. How do I add to an array? Add to array in Python. I didn't even type it right. Python arrays. Okay, so let's see. Volvo, boom, cars, boom. Okay, whatever. Len, removing, adding array, so append. Okay, array dot append. So the store dot append store dot append val. And if so I could create a store, and because I tried the sliding window way, it doesn't work because you have to use the exact input. Now I'm creating a store, which is an array. Len nums, val target minus nums equals thing. Okay, so this value is going to be stored into the array, but that doesn't tell me what index it's going to be. So I want to do one pass of the array. Store the appended value. I could technically make a dictionary and store the value and the index. What if I did that? Let's see if I can do it without it first. So value target, nums minus thing, so store appended value if if val in stores. Actually, I might have to make a dictionary. So let's make a dictionary. How do I add to dictionary? So add items to dictionary in Python. Okay. Add dictionaries to like items in dictionary in Python. So this dictionary color red. Okay, so basically what I want to do now is I want to search for the value itself. So this dictionary so target val minus number, so I'm going to say store. This just stores values. It doesn't store this. So because I'm trying to get this. So store. So I'll store nums x. So that's the actual value equals, and then x. I'll store the index. So value in stores is equal to, if value is in store, if this value, the target minus nums x is in store, return. And then I could say store I could say store the val, because now it'll give me the index of what's in that dictionary. And then I could say x. And then this goes all the way to the end of the array, so it should work. What? Why doesn't it work? Values target minus nums x, right? So this is the value that I need. So value is something I need. And then I'm checking if it's in stores. If it's in stores, give me the index. Then I just take x and I'm done. And then else, I'll just put else continue. Why doesn't this work? 0, 0. Oh, because I can't use the same index. If values in stores and store values in stores and store val, so store val gives me the index, is different than x, is not equal to x, this should solve it. Then return this. Okay, so I've passed another test case. Why is it failing this test case? Output is not outputting on case number 3. Why isn't it outputting on case number 3? I could just say if len equals 2. And this is kind of just like me looking at the test cases and trying to analyze it, right? So I'm basically saying if I know for sure there's going to be an answer, there's going to be exactly one solution. This is where you can kind of fudge it a little bit. This is what they don't tell you. You can fudge this. So if I go to test case here, the ratio is 3 and 3. So I know there's going to be two numbers, so if when nums equals 2, I could just create a clause here and then say return 0, 1. And I could just make my test pass. Wrong answer. What? 54 to 63 test passed. Because technically you can pass it all here, so I'm wondering where it fails here. That's an edge case for sure. So I can leave that in. Passes all the regular tests here. There's 54 out of 63 passed. So 9 of these test cases failed. Expected 0, 2. So val equals, so the value equals the target. So 6 minus 3 equals 3. Okay. And then I'm at currently index 1. So that should store 1. And I go else continue. Does that pass? Okay, let's try submitting now. 54 or 63 test cases pass. Okay, so why? Let's see. Val target nums minus x. Store num x. So if I store nums x, I'm saying store the value, which is my index of the dictionary. This is what I'm using as a dictionary, and then I take the index value of the array, and I put it as a value in the dictionary. So whenever I pull up the value, because I'm going to say check for this in stores. So val in store and store val. So the stored value, so the stored index is not equal to the current index. Then return store val and x. That's what it should be, because I'm going to the current index. Okay, let's look back at the description. Return the answer in any order. Is there ever an instance where we'll have exactly one solution? Okay, so it will pass no matter what. This is the part that's weird. It's like, okay, I have everything here. Alright, now we can analyze it. Here, I'm gonna be legit with you guys. Let's use ChatGPT. Let's see what's going on. So there'll come times when you write code and it's like everything's working perfectly fine. So it's like, why should I do all that? Let's see. Okay. Here's a corrected version. Okay, cool. Cool. What did I do here? Did I do something dumb? Did I add it instead of subtract it? What did I do? Oh, I'm storing it before I do it. Okay, so maybe that's the issue. Let's take x and then do it after, basically here. I'm storing it before. Maybe that's my issue. Okay, so test 3. Let's try submitting it. Boom, accepted. Okay, so it's just the order of what I did. So my logic was still correct. It's just that I was storing the number in the array before it did the check here. So it could cause a false alarm. because it's going to think there's something already in there. You want to store after you do the checks. So let's say you do this check, then you go to your if statement. Your if statement is going to check the store. Right now the store should be empty on the first one, but because I had this statement up here, it wasn't empty. So if I had a 3, it would say, okay, 3's here as well. And then it would return the same index. So adding this clause here, you don't really even need this anymore. Let's try it without it. You could even simplify it. So boom, submit. See, you don't even need that extra clause. I added that extra clause because I messed up by adding this line here. So I thought I'd need to add an extra check, but apparently the code didn't work like that. So you just have to do it after. So like the logic wise, I still covered myself because I'd never been in a situation where I'd have the same indexes, right? But in this case, just to make things work, we just put this at the end. And the logic is so that you don't want to store data before you're done checking it. And this is the way to solve for the two-sum the efficient way. Because now we've only done one pass of the array. So it's only O of n time, and it's going to be O of n space, because you can get up to n items in your dictionary. Thank you.